Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is a Friday, November 15th. A little cool out there this morning, but we're going to warm up for the weekend. A little Santa winds and maybe a little rain next week. We'll see about that. All right, on our show today, Sue Margolis will be here from United, just talking about their meeting that they just had, sort of a wrap-up of the meeting. And then we got a couple guests from the Christian Women's Connection, and we have Chris Ramirez, and also from South Bay Jewelry, Gina Watson will be here today. And we're going to bring you a segment from Sterling Financial and also an event that's going on up at UCI at the Clare Travel School of the Arts. So good stuff going on. Now, as far as meetings go today, there is one meeting, Third's new resident orientation, that happens at 9 o'clock in the boardroom. Now, as far as the weather goes, cool and foggy this morning, as you can see if you're watching us in the morning. Similar to what we had yesterday with similar temperatures out. But going forward, we're going to see a warm-up, a rapid warm-up, as a high-pressure system is going to build really overnight tonight. And we are looking at some mild offshore breezes on Saturday and probably Sunday as well. Now, these will not be strong Santa Ana wind conditions, but look at the difference in temperatures between today and Sunday. And that's indicative of throughout Southern California, meaning you're going to see about a 15-degree average rise in temperature all over. And Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, probably the fog will come back on Monday. And on Tuesday, look at the drop in temperatures. And then looking way ahead, right now, Wednesday and Thursday of next week look like a small chance, 20% chance at most, of some light rain coming in. So we'll see if that happens. Looking around the state this weekend, and we got some, fairly for fall mild weather. I mean, look at the Sierras. Look at Tahoe and Mammoth hovering right around 60 degrees as their average high this weekend. That is very pleasant up there. Not much, little to no snow, if anything. I did hear that maybe next week when all this rain comes in, well, I say all this rain, this tiny little bit in Southern California, you will see some snow coming in, a slight dusting maybe up in Big Bear and possibly the Sierras as well, but certainly not much yet. Overall, though, just some warmer weather down in Southern California. However, Northern California is going to stay relatively mild and cool. Really nice up there for fall. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Do you hear but not understand? I have good news for you. A proprietary system for verifying hearing correction, Verified Best Speech Clarity, is now available through the All-American Hearing Network. This means hearing improvement can now be verified and documented. Your individual hearing correction is guaranteed in writing. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot. Try AMP, the world's smallest hearing aid at an unbelievably small price, just $750. It's ready to go in one visit, comfortable to wear, and virtually invisible when worn. Yes, you can now have verified best speech clarity. Hear every word. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot, risk-free.
If you asked me what I wanted to be when I was a child, I would have told you a princess or an astronaut, maybe even a chef. But things change. I may not have become a princess, but I found someone who treated me like one. I may not have become an astronaut, but I still got to see the world. I may not have become a chef, but you would never leave my house hungry. The Emeritus Institute has kept my love of learning alive. Every day is a new adventure, and the Emeritus classes have made it possible to keep living out my dreams. Sign up today and begin your life's next adventure.
Hiring a realtor you trust is the first step in selling your home. Selecting an escrow company that can safeguard your money and personal information throughout the transaction is the next step. Escrow Options will guarantee the safety of your personal information and funds from the risks of wire fraud and cyber theft. Choose the escrow company that works for you. Escrow Options Group, protecting consumer assets in escrow since 2005.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
And with me right now is Sue Margolis. She is the president of the United Board. And this past Tuesday, they had their November monthly meeting. So I'd like to welcome you.
Thank you very much. And good morning, residents. This week we had our board meeting, and it was a very successful meeting. Many observers told me afterwards that it was not boring. I would like to recap some of the business completed. 6 resolutions were put on 28-day review and will be voted on in our December meeting. We continue to revise our alteration standards to make it easier for residents to make modifications without having to go through the long costly variance process. There were in the categories of alteration, alternative heat source policy, soft water units, water heater relocation, and ramps. We're hoping to have some completed packages for the most common alterations signed off by the mutual and the city that contractors could pick up to ease the permitting process right now in the future. 2 of the committees edited their charters to reflect how the new committees want to work at maintenance and construction and governing docks. Unfortunately, the governing docks had a confusing sentence, so we sent it back to committee for a revision. United added a charter for our VMS committee representatives, and so that they are covered under our legal coverage when attending our meetings, and that way they can share information with us and we can share with them. We are still working on the recognition agreement so we can have other lenders. It's not quite there, and we hope to bring it back in December. This has the potential of giving us more robust options and lowering the loan cost. It's a very complicated process to make sure that we don't get into any state. We want to have first rights, so we get our money first, and we want them to pay the HOAs while they're in the process of selling the place. So those are the matters that we wish to relate to the community in our meeting Tuesday. Unfortunately, perhaps a sign of the times, there was one speaker who used their time happily repeating a litany of inflammatory rumors perpetrated to be negative and destructive consequences of action this board is working to accomplish. I want to dispel anyone from believing these allegations. In fact, I've been particularly concerned this year that the board fulfill its duty of doing diligence on our financial state, which is, after all, the legal requirement for all HOAs, which has been perhaps insufficiently appreciated by past boards. I'm glad that we have a competent people on the board charged with looking at this. I do have my eye on the bottom line. I believe in change, and I hope to change many processes for efficiency and cost reduction. Also, I'd like to make the community where people respect each other and support each other. Some of the changes listed are aberrations of what we would like to achieve. This community is law-abiding citizens. People in United just want to live their life in peace and enjoy the days that they have left. When people from the outside see United residents pay their assessments on time, and we rarely have to write off a bad debt, they know what kind of people live here. The United operating rules are 359 pages long with lots of legal terms. This does not reflect the community we want to present. Most people, when they're told that there is a compliance issue, they try to fix the problem as soon as possible. We have moved into a mode of threats and fines then I'm not sure this is where United wants to be. I have no desire to eliminate rules and regulations that are enforceable and make life better for everyone in the community. I would like to make our operating rules clear, compact, readable, and without legalese. I have started a list of what I think is low-hanging fruit, and I'm sharing this with staff and other mutuals. Some of the items on the list may lead residents to think I want to destroy the village. I live here. I plan to stay as long as it's feasible. I love this community and what it offers, but I see ways to make it better, and I know that there are people adverse to change, but we need to make it better. One is to reduce the number of redundant calls to resident service. This has been a big frustration for many residents who've had to call for the same problem. We estimate the number of redundant calls are 20%. I believe this could be done by giving a response that a work order has been received, a work order is scheduled, and we do the job right the first time. Also, residents need to use the technology that's been put in place. Instead of calling for the gate entry, use Dwelling Live and use the portal for submitting work orders and checking on the status of work orders. This would remove a lot of phone calls. We need your assistance to accomplish this. I'm aware of the fact that what one resident thinks is necessary improvement, their neighbor thinks it's an unnecessary expense. The board has to walk the middle ground, but that doesn't mean we do nothing. Please remember, we are volunteers doing the best job we can. Thank you.
Yeah, and so, I didn't realize that's a big, thick book of operating rules, isn't it?
Oh, it's outrageously
Yeah.
big, and nobody can read it, and nobody knows when they violated one,
Right.
because it's so much, and so much legalese in there that you'd have to really be a lawyer to figure out if you violated a rule or not.
So basically, one of the goals, it sounds like, is to simplify the reading of these so
Right.
people can pick it up, and maybe a concise sort of Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, and some of the more important rules we'll
Right.
put in the front,
Yeah.
things that people really need to know and not do, we
Right.
need to put in the front. But right now, it's just a conglomerate of all kinds of things,
Yeah.
including how to get your Christmas tree taken away at recycled. So, I mean, there's things we need to sit down and really think, what do we want
Right.
in this, and how do we want to present it to? And we have very good people living here. They're all law-abiding. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's not like we got the public here.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have any teenagers that need to prove themselves and things like that. So people are really good
Yeah.
about things here.
Right, and the part that you mentioned, using the technology that's available, Dwelling Live and all, could speed a lot of the processes.
It would reduce the number of calls in
Yeah.
the call center hugely.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what we need to do.
yeah, that would be a help. All right, very good.
Thank you so much for giving me the time to speak.
All right,
I
Sue.
appreciate it.
Good to see you again. You take
Good.
care.
You
We'll be
take
right
care.
back.
Over 25 years, we have worked hard to make Berlin Smile the premier dental office in Laguna Woods. We take the extra time to understand our patients' special needs and always perform the highest quality dental work at affordable prices in a relaxing and friendly environment. There is no need to refer our patients to anybody else. We perform everything from cleaning all the way to the implant and sinus surgeries all under one roof. Stop in or call and experience the Brilliant Smile difference.
And welcome back. It's always great to have people here from the UCI Claire Trevor School of the Arts. And today we have a couple guests on that are involved in the production called Company by Stephen Sondheim. And I'd like to welcome first their director, Eli Simon, and then one of the performers in this production, Hope Andrew-Jack. And great to have you here today.
Hey, great being here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having us.
It's always fun to have folks coming on and talking about these wonderful community productions from the different areas. I've not heard of this, and Eli, if you would give me a background on this production.
Well, this play was written in 1970. It's one of Stephen Sondheim's great musicals. It's an early piece, and it's about a guy named Bobby. He's turning 35, so there's a celebration of his birthday, and he's taking a look at why he's not married or with a significant other person at this age. He meets a lot of his friends throughout the play, and they sing, and they talk about marriage, commitment, and what it means to find the significant other. And he's really grappling with why he's so alone in life.
You know, we were talking about this when we were outside here, and being that this was written in 1970 or so, today people wouldn't even think about that. 35, not married or whatever. But it was kind of different back then, especially coming out of the 60s, right, Hope?
Yeah, exactly.
Not that you would have remembered that.
That's what it was like then.
Yeah, but I know that you being part of this. So you play, you were telling me, a bit older part in this.
Yes.
And sort of the confidant of this person.
Yeah, she's Robbie's friend, Joanne, a bit older, a little bit older than Robbie, and she's there. She's a feisty gal, and she won't admit it at face value how important marriage is to her and having someone, a companion. But there's some really touching scenes where you see that side of her, and it kind of helps Robbie realize that he wants that in his life and how important it is to have someone to care for and be married to. And
well, I won't ask what happens at the end, if he winds up with someone or not. Eli, this is a musical.
Yes.
And a little bit of comedy, a little bit of pathos and drama in it as well.
Absolutely. The music is just gorgeous. We sit there listening to it in tears every night, and that's really the power of Stephen Sondheim as a composer and a lyricist.
I know that obviously we all know the name,
right?
But I kind of forget some of the productions that.
Well, his great musicals include Into the Woods and Sweeney Todd, Sunday in the Park with George, and Little Night Music, and this is right up there with those great ones. The music, just to hear the music itself, it's a great evening for that. But there's a really wonderful deep story intertwined with the musical numbers. There's some great show numbers, some wonderful choreography and dancing. It's a pretty full evening of theater, and really not produced that often, so fairly magical event for us.
I think that's nice. You're doing something that is not one of, I guess, noted production of his. I mean, it may be just as good, but people don't think of that when they think of him.
That's right. I mean, we wanted to produce company for people in the theater world. It's a beloved musical, and for people that love musicals, they would know of it. For others, it's just worth coming on, checking it out if you haven't heard of it and you do love musicals or Stephen Sondheim. It's very special.
Yeah, I bet it is. Hope, what's your background? How long have you been at UCI? And
second year MFA candidate in the acting program.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so it's been originally from New York, so uprooted and moved out here last year. So
just for UCI?
Just for UCI.
Wow.
Yeah, for this program, and been learning a lot, and I'm so thankful to be in this company of company.
Yes.
And it's been a really great learning experience. So.
Well, Eli, how long have you been with UCI?
This is my 31st year.
Wow.
In the UC Irvine.
So they were breaking ground before was the Barclay? No, was the Barclay even there?
Actually, no, it wasn't.
No,
I saw the Barclay built. So.
And certainly the Claire Trevor wasn't there, right?
Well, the Claire Trevor School was named while I was there.
Okay.
The donation came in.
Yeah.
It was the School of the Arts before that.
Right.
But I think I directed the first musical in the Barclay, which was, I can't even remember the year now, but it's a great place to produce. It's just such a beautiful space, a beautiful hall.
Yeah. So, and UCI in general, I think a lot of times people hear UCI, they think of it as a great research institute and medical and all the other things, which of course it is, but they forget that it is just a wonderful media arts place and productions go on there. And of course, the wonderful facilities that they have.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we're doing our research. The theaters,
yes, you are.
are our laboratories, Ken. So we go in there and we're experimenting just like everyone else.
Yeah. Well, this production starts on November 17th, has 7 performances. So it goes to November 23rd. And you folks here, you get a discount. So senior discount, so the tickets are $21 each. And if you'd like more information on that, you would go to arts.uci.edu/Laguna. And you see it on there too with the number, and it says edu/tickets. If you go to that too, you can get tickets there. But if you go to the other one, then you get a discount, or you can just call them and tell them where you live, and you get that discount, which you folks have always provided for us, which is really nice.
It's just a pleasure to involve everyone in the community. So the discount is because we really want folks to see the show.
Yeah.
And we want to make it affordable. So.
Yeah, very good. And again, great to have you folks on. Wonderful productions go on at UCI, and it's great to hear about them.
Thank you so much.
So maybe we'll see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
All right, so again, the production is Company by Stephen Sondheim. That will be happening at UCI from November 17th through November 23rd. And you can go to arts.uci.edu/Laguna to get your discount tickets. We'll be right back.
At our new Memorial Wave Imaging Center in Laguna Woods, formerly Orange County Diagnostics, you can expect the same precise imaging, multiple modalities for your imaging needs, and the same friendly staff with medical providers like Dr. Syed Shirokni. The Laguna Woods Transportation Service offers convenient access right to our door, and we continue to provide the care and compassion that you expect from our new Wave Laguna Woods location.
Aetna takes a total approach to health and wellness. With Medicare Advantage plans that offer health coaching and fitness memberships, plus hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage in one simple plan, with monthly plan premiums starting at $0 and wide provider networks including doctors and hospitals you know and trust. Aetna Medicare Advantage plans. Call today. We'll send you a $10 Visa reward card with no obligation to enroll. Or visit us online at aetnamedicare.com/TV.
Welcome back. Well, coming up on November 19th, which is next Tuesday, Laguna Woods Christian Women's Connection is going to be having their monthly meeting, their buffet luncheon, and the theme of this is Trinkets and Treasures. So I'd like to welcome Chris Ramirez here today, and Chris is, of course, with the Christian Women's Connection. But also I'd like to welcome Gina Watson, who's been on our show many times, South Bay Jewelry, and, of course, the Legacy Collection. And it was good to see you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm so excited about the women's Christian group that I'll be speaking at next Tuesday.
Yes.
So
are we.
Yeah, it's going to be fabulous.
So first, let me talk with you, Chris, because you know you folks have this every month.
Yes, we do.
And every month you have a couple things going on. You usually have a featured guest speaker and kind of a theme going on. And this time you, of course, have Gina. Then you also have Lona Beardsley, who is a teacher, counselor, and joyful mother of 8. That would be hard to be joyful with 8, but anyway.
Lorna is really inspiring.
I'm kidding.
Yes, I've heard her before, and it's quite amazing to hear her life story, her family story, the building of their family, I'll put it that way. Her background, which contributes certainly very positively to the role that she's played in her family's life, as well as being a very lengthy, I say lengthy, she's had quite a role of speaking in our Christian Women's Connection group. But
now I have a question here. She's not part of the famous Beardsley family. Do you know that family?
You know, I don't.
Okay.
Something to find out.
If anybody doesn't know about that, long before you heard of the Duggars, you know, the 19 kids and counting, or 28 kids, or whatever it is.
On TV,
there was the
show.
Beardsley family. And they had like all these different, you know, 20 kids or something.
I'll have to be listening and,
I don't know.
paying better attention this time.
Yeah,
so.
I have no clue, but that name rang a bell, and I'm going, yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, we want to remind. This gets publicized about our luncheon monthly in the Globe, and it's open to people of all backgrounds. We say it, you know, Christian Women's Connection, but we want to bring in ladies to just meet other ladies here in the community. They can bring guests. It's at our beautiful Clubhouse 7 across from the 19th restaurant. We have a gorgeous venue, and Tomas Catering, they do a fabulous job every month. It is a buffet, so if there are dietary problems or restrictions that people might have, it's pretty accommodating that way. We do ask ladies to make reservations. It's only $14.
It's only $14.
Really, in our society today, it's very manageable, and you get a great
Yeah,
lunch.
that is, for $14.
The problem I find with eating their beautiful lunch is I come out of there, and then it seems like by 5 I still want more food. I'm going, what happened here? Because I've already had all this wonderful balance.
Yes.
you know. But we also have other ways to meet women if the luncheon date doesn't always work, in case people are newer to hearing about us, even though you may have lived in the community, or even if they're newer in the community. But we have a couple of Bible studies. And I think, do we have a flyer up here?
Yeah, you have on Wednesday, you have your tea.
Yes, we do.
And then you have the another one, well, Tuesday and Wednesday, so.
Yeah. And I'm part of the Wednesday group, which is local here in the village. Our Tuesday Bible study is conducted by our current chair, Leroyce Kincaid, in her home, which is a little bit more Newport, Irvine area. In addition, we're going to have special music by, I'm going to look at his name to say it correctly, Jason Lagaska, and I'm told he's wonderful. So it's always fun to go out as ladies and just be with other women and have good food and great music and a wonderful, inspiring speaker. And additionally, then to have somebody from our community who comes out as a wonderful feature. And this is always an exciting feature when we start talking about jewelry and our special items. So should we just segue?
And Gina, you know, they have you billed as a gemologist, which you are.
Yes.
However, lately, since you know, you've been coming on and off for a couple years or more, you've been talking about more of the legacy program,
right?
Which deals with folks that have you know, artifacts, antiques, all kinds of different things, collectibles.
Things that are of value that family members maybe do not know what the values are. So my specialty is to sort through them for the families, help them prepare their estates. Look at the values of the items and what to do with them. What to maybe leave for family members, and what maybe to sell now that they can acquire, you know, the money and use it for their welfare.
Right.
So I brought some items that I'm hoping at the meeting on Tuesday, I would invite the guests to bring things, and I will be happy to give them some evaluations. Now, I sell all over the world. I'm an auction company online. I work with the clients, and I find the best ways of either turning their items into money, depending on the best way to source it out, either selling it outright for sterling, because sterling is very high right now. So I have some samples of flatware, there's a cigarette compact, there's candlesticks, all these things that people really don't know unless I can shuffle through them. They might be dishes, bowls that are real, that maybe are not. So it's not unlikely that I go to homes, or that people bring their items into my office in Laguna Woods. So that would be the sterling. The jewelry as well. I brought a collection of more costume items. These are higher end pieces that have value that people don't really think that they do. So we go through these, and I'm able to muster through some of the bigger designer names. We put those online, depending on if they have time to do that or if they want to just cash it out, as well as their gold and their jewelry. Now, gold's going high right now. It's taking a nice jump.
What's gold at right now?
Right now, it's at right around 14.
Okay.
So it's doing well. Now, I brought these figurines because A lot of people don't know what to do with them.
Yes.
They can't find buyers. And I have a lot of Chinese buyers on the internet. I have people that are in the Middle East and they're buying jade, especially the Chinese. The Asian customers are buying a lot of the jade. So I really recommend that they bring them in. There's a difference here. This is a soapstone and this is actually jadeite.
Okay. Yeah.
So you'll see the difference, and I can help evaluate those once I see the estate.
I didn't realize, if I may interrupt you, soapstone was that pearlescent.
Well, soapstone's in many different colors.
Okay.
It's it actually, you can almost feel like it's more of a soapy feeling.
Okay.
And the jadeite is more pristine and translucent. And so that's how the value is all going to be based on. Now I have this out because many people don't know what to do with their ivory. And ivory, of course, you know, is banned and it can't be sold. So I have different recommendations. I do estate appraisals, so family members will know what the values are. This can be for a whole household full of furnishings, paintings, room by room. And these figurines we can look at as determining whether they are bone or whether they're ivory and come up with prices. Just recently I did a big estate and we had elephant tusk and all kinds of things which helped the family resolve what the values would be. So that's just another little area that I can help them with.
You know, that's an interesting point you have because obviously, you know, we don't want to get back into the days of harvesting of ivory. But I didn't know that if somebody has something that's 100 years old, you know, they can't sell an antique piece, or I'm confused about that.
The ivory, if they have over 100 years old, and if they have the documentation, they can sell it. So ivory is very temperamental. You cannot sell it, but you can have it appraised so the family members know what it is. And then from that point, they can disperse it through the family. They can decide who wants what. It can be used for their tax purposes, their CPA purposes, their inheritance purposes, and of course helping the family members dissolve without getting into, you know, a war as far as what people are going to be taking from the estate. So that's my job.
And it, you know, the reason I kind of bring that up is because as far as my legacy goes, on my father's side, my grandparents who owned a business, an importing business up in the Bay Area years ago, mainly women's clothing that they would sell to like Macy's and things like that, they had all this kind of stuff. And I mean, they had a whole like Buddhist temple made of ivory and all that, something we, you know, wouldn't do today, but I don't know what happened to it. Honestly, I think when my dad moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, half that stuff he literally just left.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was like, I don't want to move this stuff.
It's unbelievable. People don't want to do anything with it, and yet the buyers are out there. That's why I went online.
And a lot of jade.
They're paying. I have someone right now buying pieces that is in the Middle East, and I deal with a politician in Switzerland. These are all people that are waiting to see what I can give them.
And I know the point is, you've talked about this before. Yes, a lot of the stuff is the legacy of the family, but more and more and more people are like, what am I going to do with this? You know, it might be we have a beautiful china set at home that belonged to my wife's grandparents. I don't know the last time we used it, 6, 7, 8 years ago, because you got to bring it out, you got to hand wash it, you got to, so it's put away. I'm not saying we want to get rid of it, but I think more and more you're seeing younger generations, good or bad, they may be appreciated, but they're like, what am I going to ever do with this?
No, they don't.
Yeah, the kids don't want it.
This, you know, and the next generation.
Maybe they'll have one little piece as a
token.
memory.
Moving along, because you bring this great wealth and knowledge, and so with our ladies coming then on Tuesday, were you suggesting that We bring an item
Absolutely.
or something?
I'm going to be there before and after and during.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a table set up, and I'd like for them to bring it in. It's free evaluation.
Wonderful.
I want them to ask me as many questions as they want, and I will lead them into some good solutions.
So whether it's a jewelry item or some of the other things that we're looking
collectibles,
at here, yes,
anything like that, please bring it in.
Yeah.
And I'll be available.
And
Also,
again, we can have further time. You're going to give out some information so that some of us that aren't as familiar with you or where
Yes.
you're located
Yes.
can find you. Then.
Yes.
And we, you start at 11:45
We
to
do.
1:30, so you're
Yes.
going to be before and after that?
Yes,
Okay.
I was invited to come before and just be available for anybody that would like to start bringing the items into
That's great.
me. And then during the event, I know there's a small amount of time that I'll be able to speak, but afterwards I'll be there as well.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so again,
Okay.
that is next Tuesday,
Yeah.
and that is the 19th. So please give them a call because they do have the buffet lunch going on.
Yes.
And so it's important they have to figure out how many people will be
And we
there.
always take walk-ins in case some
Yeah.
dynamics change in your agenda, and you can come.
But it's only $14.
It is,
I mean, it's
and
great
again,
fun.
if you've
and
never been, I can't encourage our residents to really consider coming and trying this out. We, one of our speakers, her mom actually lived in the village, and she invited the whole neighborhood of women that were available, and so it was really fun. We had a lot of local neighbors
my goodness.
from a particular
Isn't
group,
that
and several of them
nice?
are continuing to
Yeah.
come back now too, and they're really enjoying it. So anyway, it's always fun to come on and to encourage our community to think about Christian Women's Connection here in Laguna Woods, and again, our other activities that they can be a part of. We would encourage, in case you can't get to the luncheon and you want to try it out, come to one of the smaller groups that meet. Again, we're really very friendly and just embracing.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
speak for
everybody.
that. I've been involved with the group for years,
That's great.
coming as
Yes.
guest speakers and knowing
Yes.
many of the ladies, so they're lovely.
Yeah.
They are.
Yes.
And committed. And
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Good to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Good to see you both.
Thank you so much.
And hope to see you both again.
Okay,
All
thanks
right.
Be
so
fun.
much.
We'll
Good
be
to be
right-
here today.
yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Yi-Wing Tong and Dr. Elaine Tong specialize in treating chronic pain and other disorders without drugs or surgery. Our therapy uses anesthetic injections to enhance acupuncture, curing disorders by restoring circulation and health. Most of our patients have tried all kinds of therapies without benefit, but obtained relief with their first treatment. Whether you are suffering from chronic pain, mental disorders, or simply wanting to maintain optimal health, we are here to help. Call today for your free phone consultation.
Welcome back. Well, with me today is Dan Oweiler. He is, of course, the president of Sterling Financial Advisors.
Whatever that means.
Well, that's how you're listed anyway, Chief cook and bottle washer.
There you go.
There.
Dump the trash.
Yeah. Well, today we're going to be talking about Social Security. And, of course, this is the time of the year. Of course, people are looking at their Medicare programs. But also, this is the time of the year that it's always suggested by our friend Jeffrey Rodriguez of course, Social Security.
Right.
To look at you can go online, obviously, to My Social Security and kind of look at where you're at and change things and whatever you need to do.
Historically, when they started Social Security back in the 1940s, it wasn't meant to be a catch-all retirement program.
Right.
It was supposed to supplement those people that maybe hadn't saved enough or anything like that. You know, now it's become very important. I think we have a slide that shows how many people are now claiming
this
social.
This is what we're having here. And I put a line around 1940 just so people. I have a question here. If there was a mistake, you put the word trust on here associated with the government. That seems a little. Was that a mistake?
They'll never touch the Social Security Trust Fund, right?
Right. But you know, this really shows look at the ratio. That's really the most important thing. The ratio of workers.
Almost 160 workers for every person on Social Security.
Yeah.
That obviously changed as the baby boomer generation started to retire. You know, we have 80,000 of us retiring every year for the next decade, 80 million going on it. And so not only that, but the workforce is shrinking. So the ratio is really dropping significantly, where last year it was at 2.8 workers for every one person on Social Security. Well, you know, that actually impacts, they estimate that the Social Security system's supposed to run out in 2035.
Right.
Unless they do something, which they will, you know, I mean, they're not going to, but most of those changes probably more than likely will not affect those that are currently on Social Security.
Yeah.
It's those that are coming up.
Right.
Okay, and there's a lot of different options in those changes. And I think we have a slide that talks about that.
Yeah.
You know, and so
in the next slide, it shows, I know one of them that raising the age of eligibility, and if we could show the next slide, this will come up. This is the one that's talked about the most because, let's face it, it's the easiest.
Right.
And it doesn't cost anything, really.
Well, really what they should do, when I say eligibility, you know, you can start taking Social Security at age 62.
Yeah.
If they would move that to 65, so when you're eligible for Medicare, you can get Social Security. That would significantly impact the viability of the trust fund.
Right.
And so, you know, you don't necessarily, you know, when they first started, Social Security you were eligible at 65.
Yeah.
Then it went to 66. Now it's 67 for those that are born after, you know, 50. I think it's 1959 or 7 or something like that.
Yes, 59. Yeah.
And so it's 67. Well, that will probably go up as well. It'll probably go to age 68 and then 69 or 70. But that's going to affect your children and my children. You know, when it comes time. But if they could change that eligibility rule for 62, maybe to 65, that would have a significant increase. You know, and that in and of itself, you know, might affect some of the people now, but they would grandfather all those who are currently on it.
And the interesting thing about that is taking early Social Security, they also limit you on what you can earn throughout the year without being penalized.
Correct.
So in a way, it's this double-edged sword. You're going to take money from the government early, and yet you're not going to be putting money back into the government because if you make over, I think it's $17,500, something
as a single,
you're going to be penalized. Not just taxed, but penalized.
Well, they're going to take some of your Social Security away.
So,
like you said, we're talking about the government. Not always logical in what some of the things they do, you know. But they're going to have to do something, because if they don't, you're going to have a complete collapse of the Social Security system.
And that would be something that said we're not going to allow this maybe a year earlier or something. But, you know.
Secondly, an increased Social Security tax on workers, that would you know, that would obviously not go over well with the working class, you know, or employers. But if they raised it 0.5% or whatever, that would also, there's probably going to be a combination of all of these things that they were going to implement. Okay. Increased Social Security tax on income limit. You know, I mean, you could. You could say, okay, you know, anything over and above. I think it's 123,000 right now. Then you don't pay anything. You know,
you pay up to that level.
Up to that level. Well, if they would increase that and say 150 or 175,000, that would also be okay. And because you're paying that anyway, it's just that you're not maxing out.
Yeah.
So those are some options. And the final one, limit cost of living adjustments. Well, that wouldn't go over very well with those that are receiving.
Right.
But
and a need-based eligibility, well, on the other hand, if you've paid into this for 40 quarters and beyond,
right,
you're like, wait a second, you don't get to determine if I need it or not. That's for me.
It was my money, you know, and so just because I've done well in life and I'm making $400,000 a year, I shouldn't get it. Well, that's a philosophical difference between, you know, maybe those on the left and those on the right. You know, it's what they call redistribution of wealth. You know, take from the rich and distribute it to the poor, and that can be a viable part of our overall philosophy in government. But you know, they're going to say, well, if you're who's the person for Berkshire Hathaway? I can't.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. Yeah. Warren Buffett doesn't need Social Security, but he did pay into the system all that time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So philosophically, you can understand why they don't get it, but at the same time, it's my money that I put into this system.
Right.
You know. So if they would let us take that money and put it into our IRA, I'd be much better off.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't do that. But I think that somewhere down the line, they're going to have to come up with probably a combination of all these things. The cost of living adjustment, you know, over the last, I think, 10 years or so has been around 2.8. Now, it doesn't seem like that, but over the last...
And this year, it's 1.5.
Yeah, it was down this year.
And you're kind of like, where do they get that from?
Right.
The cost of living has gone up more than...
The nice thing is they exclude food and gas and all that other stuff that counts that we pay for every year. But you know, the Social Security system was never meant to be your primary retirement. And people, unfortunately, I think half of the recipients, that's the only income they get in retirement. And so they do need to do something in that regard.
Right.
So it's an ongoing debate as to what they're going to do, but the odds are most of the time it's going to affect those that haven't yet claimed Social Security, the workers and things like that. If they adjust the cost of living a little bit less, you know, that'll affect
well,
some.
I can see, you know, like you said, I think a combination of raising the eligibility or just getting rid of the 62 type option.
Right.
Increasing the tax, nobody wants to increase tax, but suppose like for us workers, it's only, you know, $20 extra a month. Let's just say that's all it is. That could make a huge difference over time.
Oh, absolutely.
And then definitely, I do agree, you know, on the income limit because you know, this is one instance where I'll say people making that kind of money, if they're still paying the social, they're not going to even notice it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the $125,000 limit, and then you don't pay anymore. You know, just open that up and just say that.
And right there.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But you know, Congress is never popular when they increase anybody's taxes.
Right. That's true. All right. Well, you know what? Dan can help you out. Maybe not so much in your the taxes and stuff. Well, I mean,
we can help with taxes.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
And you can. You know, when it comes to Social Security, it's something that Dan can help you out. Really looking at, you know, maybe how to.
You know, one of the
stuff around
we do our seminars, and people will ask questions at our seminars. They'll write them down so we can maybe answer them. One of probably the most common question that we get is, when's the best time to start taking Social Security? Yeah. That's probably the #1 question. And there isn't a right time.
Yeah.
I've recommended to people that start taking it at age 62 because they don't have enough income coming in.
Yeah.
And they need that money to pay their income. I've recommended some to wait till age 70 because they have other assets.
Yeah.
It's not a right or wrong question. It's just that what's the needs for that individual at this time, and you maybe you can wait till age 66 or whatever it is. But I've recommended in some of our plans for people to start taking 60 at age 62 simply because they don't have enough income.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not a right or wrong question is when's the best time to take it. If we have other means that we can delay that, Social Security goes up at 8% a year.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway.
All right, give Dan a call, and you know, if you you may get his.
Oh my gosh!
Is this weekly? I always forget,
we probably send that out once a month.
Yeah, so you can get the newsletter that you get on here, and if you're lucky, you may even you know, see our video on here that he puts up. So
I put from time to time.
So what I do is I go home and I watch myself all over again. You know, that's kind of nice. So there we are.
You need to get a life, Ken.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you, sir, very much.
Good to see you.
All right.
All right.
Have a good Halloween, and we'll be back.
All right.
Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
We are a community of surgeons and optometrists dedicated to helping you live better by seeing better.
We offer advanced lens options to fit your lifestyle. We also offer the latest in laser technology for cataract surgery. We are Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
With clear vision, all things are possible. To schedule your appointment, contact us at 866-599-2740.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From our delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
One of the more common violations that we see in the village is stop sign violations. Now, the section is based on the California Vehicle Code, which requires drivers to stop behind the limit line. Now, as you can imagine, we commonly hear about the California stop, which really isn't a stop at all, but a slow or a roll. And that's one of the things that we'd like to educate our members of, to come to that stop sign, stop behind the limit line, pause briefly before moving through the intersection.
Yeah. We take videos, the traffic security officers take videos for the traffic sessions when the people come before us. And it's absolutely amazing. If I might indicate, the stop sign is right here. People will physically stop at this particular area and then drive through. However, there's a white limit line right ahead of us that you must stop at. The rule says you must stop at that limit line. However, there are cases where there is no limit line available, but you must still stop, look both ways, then proceed. And these are the things we explain to people. And it's very, very well taken, believe it or not. People will actually thank us for the information which they did not understand. And a lot of times they'll just roll right on through there. I've had them go through at 10, 15 miles an hour, not even think about hesitating.
So in this example, we have one of our own actors, a member of the security division, actually approaching the limit line. And you'll see, possibly in a little bit of a rush, what have you, he slows, but then he zips right through the stop sign. And that is something that we're trying to educate our folks on to. Just, again, take that few extra seconds, come to a full stop before moving forward.
And a movie today is called The Red Shoes. It's from 1948, and it's about a young ballet dancer, and she is torn between the man she loves and her love to become a prima ballerina in this classic movie. And it's a very surreal movie. I've seen parts of it, and it's hard to kind of figure out. You know, there's a lot of almost, I don't want to say like scary moments in there, but kind of really sort of abstract characters in it. So I don't know how much of this is supposed to be kind of surreal or imaginary, or I'm not familiar with the movie, but it's supposed to be a pretty good one. And as I said, it came out in 1948. Now, our movie on Monday came out in April. It's called The Best of Enemies, and it takes place during the Civil Rights era. And it's about an activist named Ann Atwater who faces off against C.P. Ellis, an exalted leader of the Ku Klux Klan. This is based on a true story. And again, it takes place in 1971 in Durham, North Carolina, over the issue of school integration. So this one's a really powerful movie. Looks like it's well acted. It stars Taraji P. Henson and Sam Rockwell, and that will be on Monday at 2 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. So there you go. There's our movies coming up. All right, coming up this, well, actually, you know what? I think this is about to start. Yes, the Healthy Brain Expo. I was looking at the time here. It is today, November 15th, from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So if you're watching us in the morning, the Healthy Brain Expo is taking place over at Clubhouse 2. So there you go. I looked at this, I looked at the date, and I'm like, wow, that's today. I better mention that really quickly. Leslie Coretti is putting that on. But I do want to tell you about a couple things. A Thanksgiving luncheon feast by the Florence Sylvester Senior Center is going to be taking place on Wednesday, November 27th. Please give them a call because this may already be sold out. They haven't told us that yet, but these things sell out very, very quickly. 949-380-0155. That's 380-0155 for Florence Sylvester Thanksgiving Feast luncheon the day before Thanksgiving, November 27th. I will tell you that the ones here are all sold out, but there is a wait list, so the ones done by Recreation. Coming up, let's see, one other thing. And you know what? I think that's pretty much the announcements I have for you at this point. So let me tell you about the weather. And another day, a fog in the morning, kind of nice, but it'll clear up. As you saw yesterday, we had a few little clouds hanging around, which I think will be happening today. But a real change tomorrow when we get a high pressure system that comes in. And look at for the next 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. What a change. We're going to get some of those offshore breezes tomorrow. I think tomorrow evening and then Sunday, some of those Santa Ana winds. They should not be real strong, but I know the fire danger is going to be elevated for at least about a day and a half. Might get the fog back Monday morning. Certainly on Tuesday, you can see the drop back down again. And then looking, by the way, Wednesday and Thursday of next week, we could have a high of only about 68. And that's a chance, small chance, but a chance nonetheless, of some light rain coming in next week, probably Thursday, maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. Let's look around the state this weekend, looking really nice everywhere you go. Of course, cooler to the north, but still the Sierras, Tahoe, Mammoth, those are nice temperatures for this time of the year, fairly warm temperatures for mid-November. So nice everywhere you go. Palm Springs, averaging in the upper 80s for this weekend. All right, we will see you coming up on Monday. You have a good weekend. Take care.